So here I am, just minding my own business, going for my walk in the beautiful nature here, waterfalls galore, and I started reflecting on all the stupid moments that I've fucked up with all the incredible women in my life. When I have these moments, right, where I start spiraling into negativity, I catch myself, boom, I change the channel and it's on to bigger and better things, right? I don't allow myself to keep having this negative feedback loop in my mind. But I figured this would be a good opportunity to share with you guys some of my most embarrassing and cringeworthy moments I've had with women so that you guys can learn from these experiences and save yourself some gray hair and stress along the way. So I went to high school prom by myself. I'm not joking. We rented out a limo, and on the way to prom, right, all of my friends were canoodling with their dates, and I'm just sitting there with my thumb up my ass thinking about how much I don't want to be there. And to make matters even worse, I knew I was gonna run into the girl who I didn't have the balls to ask out, who actually liked me. To stack on top of that, I knew that other people would be looking at me, pointing at me, laughing like, oh, look at that loser over there going to prom by himself, right? Even the most unpopular guy in school had a date. I really f***ed up. I was really doing something wrong. I knew my friends were gonna rub it in my face, right? These obvious signs that she was giving me that she liked me. And I'd still be telling myself, oh, you know what? She was just being nice, right? My friends would tell me over and over again to just ask her out, right? I didn't have the balls to ask her out and some other guy did. That's what it boiled down to. And what I learned from that was that this was a recurring pattern in my life. I'd keep missing out on these opportunities over and over again, because I would convince myself that, oh yeah, she didn't like me, she was just being nice, right? I had such low self-confidence. Even though I knew the girl was interested in me, I knew she liked me, I would still convince myself this, right? This behavior, it had to stop. Number 2 lesson learned is that less is more when it comes to texting. So I met this girl at a bus stop, right? I went up to her, I used my grandpa's signature line that I learned from him back in the day. I witnessed him one time go up and he said, did they forget about us or what? Right, and the girl was waiting at the bus stop. She laughed and then she started talking about how the bus is always late, yada yada. I took note on her accent, then we started talking. It turned out she was from Europe originally, right? We got along really well. The bus ride flew by, right? There wasn't a dull moment. There was no awkward pauses in conversation. I got her number. We decided that we were gonna go for a drink, right? I told her I knew a spot that we could go that was really close to her place. We're texting back and forth, it's a go. She's responding right away, right? And then I shit the bed. It just takes one wrong text, that's all, right? One wrong text, because women are looking for a reason to disqualify you because they have so many options, right? So she said, I'm just finishing up getting ready, I'll see you there soon. And then she put like a heart, right? Oh, I need to switch arms here. So I sent her the text that sealed my fate. And I said, I'll see you soon, slugger, right? And I watched The Karate Kid. I'll play that scene right there. I thought it was like a flirty kind of funny thing to say, but she lost it. She completely took that term for something that it wasn't, right? She thought that I was saying that she was like a slut and all this stuff, and she just went off. She's like, oh, excuse me? Wow, I can't believe you just said that. She vanished into a cloud of smoke. I tried to call her, nothing. I think she blocked me after I said that, right? So, just thinking back about that just makes me cringe. You want to have a clear path forward, right? A strategy. Since that moment, I've developed this strategy. You have to constantly lead forward in as few text as possible, or else you're gonna incriminate yourself like in an interrogation room. You wanna make sure you have a clear structure that communicates clarity so there's no misunderstanding, right? She can't misinterpret the text for anything. This is gonna dramatically reduce ghosting and flaking, right? And if you guys want access to that texting structure that I have, click the link in the bio below and book a free 15-minute call, and we'll talk about that and I'll send that over to you. Lesson number 3 that I learned is save the dinner dates for later on, never on a first date. I met a girl at work and it turned out that she really likes sushi. Oh my God, so do I. What are the chances, right? So I thought it would be only wise to ask her out, right? Let's go get sushi sometime. So we did. And I know when I go to all you can eat sushi, I'm not just grabbing one plate and running and that's it, that's all she wrote, right? I can't stand those kind of people. They go for all you can eat sushi and they have one plate and that's it, that's all, right? We're at dinner. She shows up on time, looking good, and I'm thinking, okay, I got this in the bag. She's giving me the anime eyes, playing with her hair, conversation's going well, right? No dead air. She's asking me all these questions about myself. So we keep ordering plates, and you know, she's trying to keep up with me. She's like, oh, I can eat more than you can. And she's kind of teasing me. And then it hit. At the end of the meal, all of a sudden, you know, you're feeling the burps coming on, and then you're feeling like you gotta shit your pants and go give birth to a set of twins. Now I don't go out on dates with women to dinner for the first date. You're not gonna feel sexy when you have all this food inside of you. It slows down your cognitive process. You guys wanna be sharp. You guys wanna be able to lead these conversations forward and successfully know where to take them. It's a high commitment move, right? If you're going on a first date and you don't necessarily know the girl that well, how do you even know that you guys are gonna get along? How do you even know that, you know, you're gonna like her? You don't wanna have that feeling in the back of your mind like you wanna go to the bathroom and slip out the back window. Make her earn those dinner dates that you like. You never wanna lead with your wallet. You never wanna take her to this nice fancy restaurant and try to win her over with that. Coffee or drinks? Maybe a scenic walk, like this. That's it, keep it casual, and then if you like her and she earns that other date, she earns that dinner date, then by all means, go for it. Oh, my arm. Lesson number 4, you have to convey that flirty vibe. You have to convey that romantic interest, right? Don't have these generic platonic conversations with women because you're gonna end up being labeled as that good guy or get caught in the friend zone, right? And then you're gonna need a shovel bigger than the eye can see to dig yourself out of that. So I was checking out different spots to go and hike, and I saw this girl, she posted and tagged a photo in this particular location, right? So I was thinking, okay, that looks cool. So then I messaged her and I asked her about what she thought about the location, right? I said, what was your 10,000 page review on, you know, this spot? Right? And if you guys want to meet girls on Instagram, this is a great strategy. Look up things that you like to do, like for instance, me, hiking, scenic walks. I'll look up places in my area and I'll see girls that have tagged themselves in those photos, right? And then I asked her if she had been to this other hiking spot that I like to go to. She told me no, and then I scheduled the date for that place. Where I messed up was I didn't really convey any kind of sexual intent, right? I didn't really show that romantic interest or give her any kind of earned unique compliments, right? I also didn't investigate her page and find out that she had a kid, right? So that that comes into the story later on. I show up, to my surprise, she shows up with a party of 2. It was like, at the time I was like 28, she was the same age, and there was like this kid that looked like he was like 16 just kind of standing there, right? She gives me this hug, and then like I literally had to ask her, I was like, there he is. How's it going, my man? And she's like, oh, that's my son. So I'm thinking, oh, well then, okay. This is gonna be interesting. I was so in my head that whole date that I didn't really make it man to woman. I was just having like generic conversation because I was so concerned about the kid being there, right? I just thought it was weird. So I'm thinking about like, should I even make the move? When should I make the move? Looks like a horror movie could be filmed here. Holy shit. Echo, echo. I knew this place like the back of my hand, and then we had explored a little too long, right? I wasn't even really present as to where we were, and the next thing you know, the sun was going down and we're lost. We didn't know where the trail was to lead us back up to the parking lot, right? It was kind of like this. Like we knew the car was up here, but we couldn't find the trail that took us to get back up there, right? So we're seeing the sun's going down, we're thinking, holy shit, like we gotta get out of here. So we started like scaling a cliff. It was sketchy as it was so dangerous, but the fact that she was actually down and willing to do that, right? Like she didn't even think about it. She's like, let's do it. I said it as a joke. I was like, we're gonna have to go and scale this cliff. She's like, okay, yeah, sounds good. This was also something that I had kind of had a history of doing, was having these generic conversations with women and not communicating my interest in them, right? Not having that spark, that playful conversation, just talking to them like a buddy or like a male acquaintance, because I'd always be afraid to show my intent. I'd always be afraid to show that I was interested in her, because I would save myself the potential embarrassment of getting rejected, right? That's why I was so guarded about that. And then I realized that, you know what, it's better to take a risk, take a chance, get rejected, than to end up in the friend zone and have to dig yourself out of that hole. Lesson number 5, you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. You hang around a barbershop a lot, eventually you're gonna get a haircut, right? You have to be very careful about who you're spending time with and what the qualities of that person are like. I was friends with this guy who I'd already kind of seen the red flags, right? He was very insecure. He's always kind of trying to bring and tear down others. But I thought he was funny, right? I was like, okay, you know, this guy's entertaining to be around. There was this girl who I was debating getting serious with, right? She was great. She would cook me breakfast every single morning. She was very feminine, had this $1 million grin, white teeth. So what does he do? He goes and tells her that I go and hook up with all these other girls on a regular basis, right? And the thing was, it just wasn't a pretty picture in her mind. I hadn't lied to her. I hadn't told her that, you know, she was the only girl I'm seeing, but just the fact that he would do that. She told me that. She's like, hey, your friend told me this stuff about you. And then she even thought it was weird. She's like, your friend said that. The moral of the story, guys, is that you have to make sure that you're not hanging out with somebody who has these glaring insecurities and who will throw you under the bus at a drop of a hat, right? Anybody who's in a serious kind of scarcity mindset, who would do anything to be in that abundance. So you want to make sure you're auditing your friends constantly to make sure that you guys have similar mindsets, right? Similar goals, similar passions, similar interests, loyal. You know that that person is willing to march into battle with you and is not going to just f you over just at the drop of a hat. When a girl enters the equation or when there's money involved, right? He's not going to sell you out for money or for women,